All right, guys, I've got a crazy story for you, and it needed to be YouTube documented, in my opinion. I just went to the Hot Wheels Legends tour with the old classic here, and while I was there, I had an interesting conversation, and it regards what's in this little box right here, which may or may not be indeed a piece of Evil Dead history. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, let me get into the story. So, last week, I saw Hot Wheels was doing a car show in my city. As we all know, Hot Wheels does not have a 1:64 scale model for the 73 Oldsmobile Delta 88, the classic. So the winner of the car show goes into the running for all the other car shows that Hot Wheels puts on. And the winner of the car show gets a model made, a Hot Wheels, of their car. So my chances of winning very slim, but I thought, hey, let's submit my car for entry as a tribute to Sam Raimi's car. So they did approve me. 2 days later, I got an approval that the old classic here was going to be at the car show. So I went to the car show. I didn't bring any props or display or anything. Just kind of park the car out there and, just let spectators, take pictures of it and check it out. I did see judges walking around, but there was some pretty cool stuff there. So it was hot. It's Texas. It's July. So I went inside Walmart several times. It was in a Walmart parking lot. So I wasn't at the car maybe 40% of the time. I let patrons and, spectators walk around and take pictures. But the air conditioning was in Walmart. So grabbed me some food, some Hot Wheels, got a poster as you saw and a few other little things. And so I wasn't at the car the whole time. I want to emphasize that because what happens regarding this artifact was by chance. I wasn't at the car, but maybe 45 minutes out of 4 hours, 4.5 hours that the car was there. So I was walking around or whatnot. Anywho, I'm standing at the back of the car, just kind of, people watching, if you will. And I noticed this lady comes up. She's older, mid-60s. And she's looking at the front of the car and just kind of staring at it. Got Evil Dead on the license plate here. So she's checking the car out, and I see her squat down and kind of take a picture. And I'm like, she's getting like a nice angle on the car. And I'm like, I'm going to say something. I know some people just, hey, it's a cool car, but she kind of looked like she knew what it was. So I said, hey, ma'am, are you a fan of, Evil Dead or the classic here? And she said, yeah, I know the car. I used to work with somebody on the production team for Evil Dead. And I said, wow, that's amazing. May I ask who it was? And she said, Tom Sullivan. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. Well, when did you work with Tom? And she said back in the 80s, her and Tom worked in California at a company that was carried licenses to make toys, I believe, creative licenses for like My Little Pony or Star Wars. And I guess maybe they did the production or the design of the toys. And I said, wow, that's amazing. That's really cool that you work with Tom. I met him in 2015 at Bruce Fest up in Chicago, I believe it was up there. And super awesome guy. Got an autograph, picture with him. Just he's great. And she said, yeah, he was always doing like jokes and stuff at work. And she proceeded to tell me that, he would come in with blood on his face, or, a prop or something that he made, and, my eye or something. And she said he was always joking around. And I said, yeah, he seems like the kind of guy that would do that. I guess one instance he came in with an X-Acto blade sticking out of his arm. And I was just like, that's, and I said, and I guess she told him like, oh, that's funny. And he's like, no, it's really an exact, we need to go to the ER now. It's real. So, yeah, she had a lot of cool stories, I guess, working with Tom back in the 80s. And she said, yeah, Tom gave me part of a prop from the original Evil Dead. And I was like, really? I was like, that's pretty cool. And told me what it was, and I was like, that's really neat. That's awesome. And I said, you still have it? She's like, yeah, it's just in a drawer at home. And I was like, that's fantastic. I've got a lot of props that I make myself, of Evil Dead, and all the franchise, and just a huge fan and collector. And but I said, that's really nice meeting you. Shook her hand, and off she went. I was like, wow, that was really cool to meet somebody in my little city that's got, this little prop from Tom Sullivan, So kind of standing around the car. Again, I could have walked off. I could have gone somewhere else. I wasn't at the car very long, but I was at the car, waited another 15 minutes at the car, and she comes back. Her name is Tanya. I'll leave her last name out of it. She comes back and she said, I was thinking about it, and I would like you to have the prop that I've got from Tom. And I said, are you serious? And she said, yeah, it's just sitting in a drawer at home. I think you would appreciate it more than I obviously am. And I said, that's an honor. I mean, just that somebody can entrust me with, with this item. So yeah, we exchanged email and contact information, and I said I would love it. So yeah, she went on her way, and I was just dumbfounded. I just couldn't believe that this interaction happened in my town at a local car show that is not Evil Dead related. I mean, I know the classic here is Evil Dead related. However, I've been taking my movie cars to different conventions and whatnot. And yeah, just couldn't believe that this happened. So after the event, I left. I ended up doing some flooring for my sister, and I contacted her, or she contacted me. She reached out. I gave her my phone number, and she asked me when was a good time. And I said, anytime you want. Let's meet up this evening. So met up at 7 o'clock, and she put the item in this little box right here. So let's talk about what's in this little box right here. So this is her words to me from Tom Sullivan. She received this from Tom, and it is an original tooth from the Book of the Dead. Doesn't look like much. And I'll take some more close-up photos, and yeah, I'll video this a little bit more. It's probably about 1.5 inches tall. It's got little serrated marks on it, and a little bit of yellow stuff, which I actually think might be glue that would, hold it in the book. Sorry, my little cut up hands here. So she said, when Tom gave this to her, he said it was a tooth from the original Book of the Dead. I think that's amazing. But then I started thinking about it. The original book didn't have any teeth. There were no teeth. I obviously in the later movies, the books get more animated and have teeth or whatnot, and so I was like, maybe it was a prototype. Maybe he made a book and it was one of the prototypes or whatnot. So I put the movie on last night, and sure enough, at the end of the movie, I see a book with teeth while it's in the fireplace. So there it is. There's a photo of a Book of the Dead in Evil Dead 1, the original movie, with teeth. Is this a tooth from that book? Does that book still exist? These are all questions I want to get answers to. I think it's amazing. I have no earthly idea why Tanya would lie about having a tooth from Tom Sullivan. I mean, why? Why would she make that up? That doesn't really make any sense. I feel like the whole thing is a true story, and I think it's amazing. If this is a tooth from the original book, I think that's kind of cool. I want to make like a cool custom stand for it, and yeah, put it on display here at the house. I'm gonna try to reach out to Tom, try to get it authenticated. That would be a first start. What is the value of this? I have no idea. I think the original books sell for tens of thousands of dollars. But again, I don't know if that fireplace book still exists. I know recently here there's been people replicating the burned book, but the replications I've seen weren't the burned book with the mouth and the tongue and the teeth. So yeah, I'm just dumbfounded. I can't fathom that I just met somebody who used to work with Tom 40 years ago. That's a long time to hang on to a tiny little tooth. I can just imagine I've got drawers with crap in it that, you just, I've got this and it goes in a drawer. I mean, I can't imagine this Tom Sullivan Book of the Dead tooth just sitting in somebody's house drawer. So yes, thank you, Tanya. If you see this, I'm still blown away and shocked that this whole interaction happens. The off chance that I met you yesterday at the car show, but that's why I've got the classic here. I love bringing this out and letting fans or people who enjoy the movie get to see the car, and brings up memories for them, or even people that aren't fans of Evil Dead. But I get a lot of people come, oh, my grandma had this car, back in the 70s. Yes, but by owning the car and going out, or wearing the T-shirt or whatnot, you get people to interact with you about the movie itself and talk about their experiences. So yeah, this is a fantastic find. I'm still shocked holding this little tooth, but again, I want to try to get it authenticated. I don't need it authenticated for me. I think it's what it is. I don't know why this lady would lie about this. But at the same time, it would be nice to know from the man himself that this interaction did go down, and that this tooth is made by his hands. Anyways, I want to thank you all for watching. Please comment down below on what you think. Let me show this to you again. I believe that is like the top part. And like I said, it's about 1.5 inches tall. And then this is the bottom part, kind of looks like that went down, you know, into the book, and then so it kind of stuck up kind of like that. And it makes sense that it's that long because you'd have to stick it down in the latex. And yeah, I don't know if you can pick up the color and pigment on there, but yeah, there's a little bit of yellow on there. Looks like it was glue. Or maybe it's stuck in this way, and the little black part stuck up was the tooth. Anyway, super cool. Again, thank you guys for watching, and please comment if you've got any better images of the book with teeth and mouth, or a way to get in touch with Tom. I think I got an email. But yeah, thanks for watching. Keep it real, keep it groovy.